Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix. Welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena focused podcast centered around the top 100 or thereabouts of Kyber 1 for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I am joined today by most of the recent crew, or not regular crew, rather. It is TJ, Fatal, and Sasha Aisha. Dagger can't be with us, and let me make sure that I've got you guys' audio correctly configured, sure that we'll be able to hear you there. So yeah, we are here covering season 82, 3 versus 3 Grand Arena Championship week 1. And yeah, if you didn't see already on Discord, I had Erodiums. It was me and 7 Erodiums. You know, Erodium might be calling them too high. They're like 4 million accounts as well. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, nothing for me to do. I was able to host a couple great guest streams. I had TJ on versus one of my patrons, and then sorry, not Fatal, Dagger. Dagger was up against another one of my patrons. Both great matches. Check out the VODs on YouTube. And yeah, I want to say I learned a few things, but only in watching and coaching others. So pretty boring, crappy week for me, considering I did a lot of preparation for week 1. How about you, TJ? What's up with you? How was week 1?
So week one, hopefully it's coming through for its sound. I did get to go 3-0. Felt good. I had two real matches and one Erodium, and I called Bab, as he's been coined, and we'll talk about it as now an Erodium. He will forever be disrespected in my name because he didn't set Datacrons on all of his teams, so he's an Erodium match.
Damn.
He rightly accepts this, and we've also put the gentleman agreement that this is what he's going to do. He must now forever remain in game as was it back alley, and then I'll leave it B word
Some
just for the boy. But we call him Bab for short. So if you see
mm,
him around the way, tag him on Tassa's stream. Bab is the way it goes. So
tough,
3-0.
tough time. All right. Well, congrats on the 3-0. You had to fight for yours. I was just handed mine on a platter, boringly. Over to you, Sasha Aisha. How goes it for you? What kind of riveting experience did you enjoy for week 1?
I think it was very much like yours, Tass. It was all Erodiums. I think me, Nira, and you, each of us had our own full Erodium bracket.
We'll
None
definitely
of
be in the
us
same
actually had
bracket.
legit matches. So I am in. I'll be in mostly listen and learn mode for the show, but asking is like the curious novice to this meta than I am. So yeah.
Very fair. Last but not least, Fatal, how are you? How was week 1? Did you have some good matchups, or was it still just geez?
This off week was a absolute roller coaster. I got some really awesome news, a new job offer that I was over the moon about, and then almost immediately off after got some incredibly bad news that might be bad, it might work out fine. I'm kind of stuck in a holding waiting pattern, and this is probably the first time where I was just like completely out of tune with Galaxy Heroes for the most part. Not even like an issue with the game. It was just life was just yeah, too much shit to handle. Just could not really think about the game. So
Fair.
shout outs to Hot Utils. So I guess you can load entire loadouts to your phone now since you don't have to do the split. So like I I got my mods from last 3v3. I spent zero time thinking about how people were supposed to use Ugnaught or whatever, and I screwed up half of the datacrons I was supposed to bring this week. And today's my birthday as well, so I did not have time to play my round. So I went, I think, like 1-1, and then a test round or a test match today.
Mm.
Kind of. I might stream some of the battles later if I have time, but it's been a fucking week, man. Outside of the game, and then there's some cool stuff to talk about for me here. But
Oh, also happy birthday. That's awesome, Fatal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Fatal.
Glad you're here with us. I mean, I would have completely understood if you couldn't make it today, but yeah, thanks for being here.
I appreciate the distraction, is where I'm at right now. So happy to be here.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, hopefully everything works out for you with the job offer and then getting around whatever that problem is. But yeah, we do have an agenda to go into here tonight. First item here in meta-analysis. Let's talk about it. Ugnaught. So, you have your Ugnaught modded for, I don't know, probably speed in some manner of survivability. Your Ezra
I just want
Hawk.
to comment. You brought up the first thing was to talk about the upcoming era. So are we
Oh,
not doing it
shoot.
that way?
Hey, you know what?
That was
Thanks.
your
My
point.
eye skipped right over. My eye skipped right over. I don't think I'm ready, but you know, you're making me ready, DJ. So here we
I
are.
guess.
The first, before we get into meta analysis, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the upcoming era of myths and legends,
hmm
aka the rise of Darth Jar Jar.
I just
So when I heard this, I was before I understood that the concept behind this next era is kind of like a what if. Like if you're a Magic the Gathering player, it's like an unglued set, something where it's not considered canon. It's just for fun, and it doesn't have any lore implications outside of its own thing.
Mhm.
Once I understood that, I could accept the idea of Darth Jar Jar. But at first, when I heard it, somebody's like, "Oh, Darth Jar Jar," is kind of like, I don't buy it.
Right.
I don't buy it.
Right.
Like the lore implications of Darth Jar Jar actually being a thing are just impossible to reconcile. Uh I just nah, there's no way. And then it's like Darth Jar Jar. Okay, I don't get it. But then I got it. So that trauma aside, it could be a hilariously fun kid. I have no idea. My understanding is the character was first realized in a Lego game or movie, something.
So it more or less it actually started off as like a fan theory Reddit joke for like
Right.
the
Yeah,
longest
but when it
time.
was first like
There's a great
realized into
ancient
something.
YouTube on that.
Yeah. It I mean they Star Wars is kind of just embracing that side of them seemingly that like yeah, they made like a Lego set and a Lego movie with it. Like if I don't play Fortnite, but like apparently Fortnite has like 20 Star Wars skins. You have Luke Skywalker, you have Darth Vader, you have Rey, and then you have Darth Jar Jar as like one of them. It's just like they are just out there doing that shit, and I guess like I for me personally, I'm a kid allegiant. I can talk about that later, but I do think some people in the community, perhaps not incorrectly, feel like this is sort of like I see a lot of people saying jump the shark. I see a lot of people saying, wow, they're really dragging the bottom of the barrel. To me, this
Yep.
is like one step removed from the mall era that they just did. Where it's just
Yep.
like, no,
Yeah,
I just see this as like it's not a fan favorite, but like, what's the word to put it? It is a fan favorite. There are people
That's
who absolutely love this
right.
Fan
character.
service.
Yeah.
yeah, fan service. Yeah,
I just this is where I keep going back to it is one, let's not bomb the Redditors and all stuff like that. You don't know. I think to what Fatal said, I love kits and all that, and CG just a lot of good. Um, I go to one of my actual favorite setups, the Star Killer setup. Brought some really awesome characters, and then also I think Fatal nails it with Arrow One, where they brought really good characters to the game. My hope is that what we'll see. Like, and I keep calling this one as low hanging fruit to me. We just got the Leia lifter for JML. What if we get Lightside Mary Jade, who gives Jedi Knight Luke his own team and that dynamic? The kit's super cool. And if we get to use its own team now because Lightside Mary Jade is here, that's a lot of fun. And that starts making new things that we get to play with in the game.
fair.
The Lego set uh features another character who actually I was going to talk about for a different reason.
Sure.
It features Dark Rey, and it also features Darth Jar Jar. And so there's a non-zero chance that they could import other characters from that, like light side Darth Vader, where he just has like all white armor. Could
Oh, I
definitely
saw that one.
happen.
Yeah, that was funny.
Um,
Yeah.
the thing I'll say on the topic of Dark Rey is I don't think I'm wrong on this. My memory can be spotty, but I'm pretty vividly feeling like this happened. When they revealed Dark Rey, people were negative. When they revealed Dark Rey's kit, like 99% of the negativity was just like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't know your game.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also
And
just
yes,
the only legitimate criticism is that it was there as like a hallucination as a flash for just a moment, and it's like, yeah, but technically it's still in the movie. Like, what's your gripe?
yes.
It's from the movie. Anyway,
The
other
Star Wars fandom like is legendary in its own regard for sensitivities around portrayal, canon, consistencies, right? So this is it's kind of treacherous ground anyway. But I'll tell you my personal reaction with it was, and it's been a little bit of a journey because I had the same sort of initial response you did, Tass. I had a friend message me as soon as it came out, and I looked at it and I'm like, ah, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure it's not April 1st.
yeah,
But then I
right.
look exactly, and then when I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's legit, and this is, and I know like Disney, Lucas, all they take this like the canon stuff very seriously, but we are
Yes.
a degree removed. We are a holotable game in that universe, which is allowed for this far more permissive creative environment for CG. And I really kind of back to my like initial statement that like the Star Wars fandom has been so brutal on so many things and so reactionary, and I find that tragically toxic and really bothersome. And so I kind of am trying to self police here and not be too negative because there was a bit of a jump to shark initial reaction concern, but the reality, this game's for fun. And the Dark Ray example that Fatal gave is a really good one. Like, I think that is a character that introduced into this game added joy, like made the First Order team more interesting. And I'm not saying that this is the natural follow because I don't know that it's going to be Lego or whatever, or if it's Matt, the radar technician, and he drops in and,
Isn't it
he
Rick?
ends up
It was
making,
Rick,
yeah.
right? Wasn't it Rick? Rick, if he comes in and dies.
Rick's the door
Oh,
technician, I
the door
think.
tech.
Matt,
That's
I
right.
think
Yeah,
I
no,
think Matt
you're
is
right.
Kylo.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
But if it's one of those, like, and I have taken my like don't take yourself too serious pills, I can look at it and say like, oh yeah, dude, that'll be fun. Like I'll enjoy that for a bit. And one of the places that CG has built up meaningful credibility with me personally, I would hope with the community, is that they're pretty good at building out their kits and figuring out interplay. They're not thorough. They don't exhaustively test. They're fallible, but they're pretty creative and they're pretty good and they're clever. And like I have what like there are so many little areas in this game, and I'll hand this back over to you guys, that like I see hints at really cool creativity of theirs that like brings me joy and makes me smile. And like I'll give it like just if you go to the Ewoks, for example, and let me pull it up. Every one of the abilities of like Paplu, for example, that's taken from the Chemical Brothers. Like galvanize, don't hold back. It's like these are like creative little hints of like song names and others, or just they. I am cool with these guys taking creative license and going a little bit wild and reminding myself to not like take it too
And
seriously. So that's kind of my journey.
it's not Reddit. I think Discord needs to chill for just a second. They just gave a picture. It's just like give them a chance to actually put something out to look at it. The idea, even anybody who plays the game comes in with the idea of I get to take my toy and put it with another toy. Now again, as we come away, it's not I get to play Darth Vader with the bros, right? You're not going to do the old school setup, and they try to limit the kits in together. But the original premise has always been I can take this character with this character in the Star Wars universe and put them together, and that goes against something else. So that's why I'm really trying to live on the world of if this is something like the Starkiller era and they bring some really exciting characters and they bring teams back. One I brought up, and I keep saying it, I've always asked, what if we get to bring the Jedi Council to relevance, and we get to see a potential of like, and I use Seattle, but just I'm a gun guy now has usage. CG has done a really good job of circling back and saying, "Oh, we missed this after a while," and then making it relevant. Look at what Apra's so much better with IG90. So I'm just saying, to I think to another point of what Sasha is, give him a chance to put it together and look at what they're doing before you start saying dropping the ball. It's like, oh, now we're just going for the bottom of the barrel, because there were Star Wars fans out there who were dying for a Darth Jar Jar. Those were those truthers out there who really wanted to do it, and they're trying to give some kind of fan service. I'm not calling it great. I'm not calling you wrong or right for your point, but Star Wars fans are so polarizing and don't mess with, and I use the term literally air quotes, my universe. You don't mess with my universe. People who like the old school setup, people who like SWTOR,
Yeah.
you start messing with that, you've killed it.
That's really the only thing I have any feeling at all about, is that as long as the whole thing is being acknowledged as
Yeah.
let's all just have some fun here, kind of an era, uh, that's fine. But there's no way it could be permitted for Jar Jar to be
I mean,
Darth Jar Jar in canon.
Tash, you know that
Can't
Pirate
happen.
King Honda was there at the thing of Order 66. He
Can't
was
happen.
there. We've seen it in the game that he was there for Order 66. He was there when the Jedi. So that's the idea of just to give him a chance to show what we're doing before you drop the bomb that this is they're just trying to do it. They're still investing in the game.
Yeah. Well, let's get ready to move on from this one in a minute. Fatal had a great idea here. Before we jump off this topic, each one of us propose one unit you think is going to be coming out in this upcoming era. Since it's legends and myths, so I'm thinking stuff that there's been plenty of stuff from actual legends and extended universe that that Disney has gone ahead and recanonized. But there's things that are missing. I don't think we have like the Yuzhong Vong War. We don't have um, Jason and Jaina Solo, Han and Leia's kids from that like young adult book series. Uh, that's you don't have XR Coon like that. I don't know. I mean, I know it's supposed to be one, but if I had to pick one, I would say Jason and Jaina Solo, like the the twins. Who's next? Step on up.
I'll go. Not out of probability, but out of like again prioritizing sheer joy. I'll do Jedi Bob from from the Lego world. I'm like, if we're gonna bring in Cal Kestis,
Yeah,
we're
see,
gonna
I
bring in
have no
other
idea
stuff.
what this Lego thing is, so I'm just like
So
completely out of the loop.
it's and this is, I mean, again, like I kind of got into this game when my kids were little, and like I remember the first time I unlocked Darth Maul, Sasha, my youngest, the actual Sasha, was so excited, and she went and she got her like a Lego Darth Maul. So for me, Jedi Bob, who like is voiced by Bobby Moynihan from SNL, and is a Jedi who's mediocre in all ways with a lightsaber, but is very good at constructing with remarkably Lego looking like objects near him. Would be kind of interesting and ridiculous and silly, but like yeah, I'll throw that out there. Not necessarily top line probability, but for me would be some personal joy.
If I saw something literally throwing Legos in this game, that would honestly feel like a jump the shark moment for me. I don't know that
Yeah,
I
I mean,
could that would
yeah,
cause
I
my
hear you.
lip to curl, like looking at that.
Fair.
All right, who's next? Step on up.
Let Fatal go before me.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's split between like I think maybe Inquisitor Cal could happen.
That'd be kind of
I saw
cool.
that one.
Just straight up opposites. Sure.
Yeah, like my prediction is I actually don't think like Galaxy of Heroes has already had plenty of Legends characters without the feeling of need to separate stuff out as Legends. So I actually don't imagine we're going to see that much Legends content here. I feel like it's probably going to be more in
Just
the
what if?
well, what if, yes, but also like when you look at how they frame stuff like Visions, um, those aren't legends. They aren't canon. They're just myths or whatever. They're just stories that people tell.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if we get like, I mean, they've got the Ninth Jedi show coming, and CG doesn't usually do co-releases for shows, but the Ninth Jedi was already a episode, so they could already do like a character for the Ninth Jedi to sneak in a co-release, or I could see it being the Ronin samurai guy.
That was a cool one.
Okay. Yeah, now that you mention in the what if sense, and I'm sure this is something that other people have already thought of. What if Anakin did not cut off the hands of Mace Windu
Yeah.
and became a Jedi Master Anakin after that? I know, I maybe nobody wants to see another Anakin or Vader, but still, as far as a what if theme, be fun.
It's
Hey,
funny.
Sorry, I'll just
No,
if
go
they-
ahead. No, I want to hear.
if they make a light side Vader and he's just a dope ass light side Force user, who is going to talk shit? I dare you.
There's
Come on
there's
now.
always going to be haters that are like, "Oh, great,
I just
great CG, another Anakin. No run out of
Yeah.
ideas, have you?"
Yeah, buddy,
Oh.
go use the other good light side unaligned Force user. Yeah,
Yes, that would be crazy.
it's a captive market.
Yeah,
It's
he would
me,
have
and so
to
she's
be.
Force sensitive.
Well, he'd have to be a Galactic Republic Jedi, right? I mean, the whole Sith plot comes undone there because surely Mace would have killed Palpatine right there. That
Right.
was about
I
to
d-
happen.
We don't have to go into weeds on this, but all I know about it is that it's Vader in a white suit, and I don't know if that implies that Revenge of the Sith still happened and he just
Turn light side.
redeemed after, because he's still in the like life preserving suit, so ostensibly bad shit still happened.
Well, okay. I mean, sure, yeah. Vader redeemed is also a what if, like,
That would be a good.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's even a good name. At least Vader Redeemed is still a cool name too. Darth Vader Redeemed, and it does it, even though it looks funny as hell when it comes to the Legos.
Sure.
All right. Keeping
That's
it limited and
awesome.
not letting myself go crazy.
We'll complete the media related names. We have DVD already. Then we'll have DVR. Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, dude, DVR is perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to keep it non-going crazy. I actually went to the mind of like Googling like most popular. I think Jason and Jaina was like one of the most popular ones too, Tass.
Sure. Well, yeah,
Um,
but that's more legends and less what if. So yeah, okay.
that's just keeping it myth and legend to me. Again, I still have to keep going to Lightside Mara Jade just because I know that was a huge tie-in one. But for me personally, I've always been a Jedi lover. So Dooku would be awesome. Jedi Dooku is still not considered, as far as I know, showing the part of canon. It was, but that was the battle with Yaddle. So Yaddle is my favorite one. I've talked about wanting the Jedi Council to be like relevant and using all of these really original characters, and Yaddle just bringing it together. And if you're getting a Jedi Council tag, would just be dope.
Sure. Yeah, good to see it. All right, guys. Appreciate you on that one. Let's move back into meta analysis. So again, Ugnaught is first item here. Learned immediately in round one. This team is buns on defense. Straight up, just don't do it. I want to say Bosk, Grief, Mando, 57 banners, just dummy mode. Like really, it's just not good. So, any disagreement there as a first point?
No, because you don't get the actual stuff. It's people
Yeah,
ask about it. It's, to me,
It's
it
literally
moves
broken.
the way of
It's
Cecile.
literally broken.
Yeah, it's literally Cecile DC. You can't use it. You put it on, it breaks your stuff.
Mhm.
You don't put it on defense. You get to use it. They're not gonna. I am 99% sure we're gonna see the way of the Cecile DC here.
Now, that being said, as far as using it on offense goes, yeah, a really common use I saw was DVDE. It's seeming to get about a 56 in the end. The
Correct.
secret is, knowing how you're doing the lockdown with Hondo on DVD, but you're also doing Fracture. And then when you're doing
Right.
your assist call moves with Hondo and Ezra, in both cases, you're using those moves calling Ugnaught. And that's what's causing that team to do outrageous damage. Uh, really like the performance that I saw on DVD. But what news do you guys have? What else have you been seeing this take on?
It was killing Vader. Funny enough,
Like
the
Lord
killing
Vader.
the Lord Vader, killing Lord Vader. But again,
Now this is with
Hondo,
the fancy max health, 10% max health, level 6, and the whole
yeah,
shebang. Yeah.
yes. So there was, I think it was Vex who got to try it a couple of times, and I saw. So it's upwards ability of where it's at. What I wanted to answer specifically was a lot of people are asking questions about the setup. Obviously, grit level 6 gives you the ability to stay alive longer. So two supports on your team, they're going to really take use to that. Um, a lot of people have lesser Ezras. Like most are like R7. I put mine to R8, but you really want to bulk him out because he's kind of just out there. So your 56 you're talking about, Task, 9 times out of 10 is because your Ezra's gotten beaten up, or you're going to lose your Ezra.
In every
Is
fight that
is a
I
key thing.
saw, now that you mention it, Ezra was the focus of the enemy team.
Correct. Correct, because he's lesser with the time that you're doing, the support with the grit. Even if they try, they can't push past what they're doing. So you really want to kind of finalize what we started talking about with the modding. The turn order thing I actually feel is correct. You don't need to have them super fast because once they go, um, this is an old school setup of I'm at 301 with Ugnaught and 300 with Ezra, and I moved my Hondo to 290. I literally loop the team playing it. So my team's just continuing to go, and then you're calling assists, and then in the kit is Ezra pushing out turn meter because you're calling supports, which wraps it back around along with Frenzy. So once you start to move, it's over. And since you have 100% evasion, if you're fighting a team who has anything like the EP team to where it's avoidable, they're not going to beat you for the most part.
Yeah, in the worst case, I saw like Ezra die, as you mentioned. It was, a weaker
Yeah.
Ezra, and then it was a 53.
Yeah.
But I did not see it lose.
No, and that's why I talk about it's if you put the turn order like you make them anywhere cap like 20 speed, your team is just going to start moving and they're never going to stop. And so just bulking out Ezra is the biggest thing. And then just keep him anywhere of like a 15 speed trajectory, you're going to be fine. They don't need to be everybody's at your fastest speed set or whatever else. Give them a little durability. They're going to stay around for a long time.
Very good. Any other teams you guys know of to make mention of using Ugnaught here? Going once, going twice. Next item, Cobb Vanth. All right, so I've seen on offense Java going down to the following: Cobb, Cup, Scavenger. Scavenger is really quite useful. And when you consider what's happening with Jabba, you're trying to blow up Bausch very early in the fight. You're just working your way through the other two over the next few minutes. Jabba's able to ignore taunt. So not a lot of value on paper for Nebit, I thought. And so Scav was looking really good. That is with the Cobb Cron. I want to say I've seen it be successful with the 10% offense stacking, which implies to me at least that the 100% health double damage is a really good choice. That said, yeah, it worked as you might. There was like health and offense on the stat, right? And yeah, Bausch went down really quickly. Took a little bit to cut through Kersantin. Took more than 2 minutes to cut through Jabba. Again, 10% offense stacking maybe not being as effective here as the 100% full health and protection damage. But Jabba managed to get 2 eats off in that fight. And
Weird.
both of them went to Cup. He could have chosen anybody, and he chose Cup twice. Did we get obscenely lucky? Does he have a preference?
Yes. I don't know about the AI targeting, but I'm going to counter what I'm hearing, at least from that. I literally went with our defense modded setup on my Cobb. So when we talked about high defense, maybe this is better. I did the 400% attacker cron on my setup with the Cobb 9.
Scary, man.
I'm having no, it's not at all because the sides are taking all of the stuff. The Mark continues to do it. They may try to touch him once. I never went out of, I think maybe one fight I went out of the purple and I faced all forms of the Jabba. It was fine. And the damage I was doing with my Cobb when he touched you was felt. You see it on the fight. If you go watch, unfortunately, it's against a non DC setup. Go watch my match against Shadow's Jabba.
Did you
Put the
set up
Jabba.
for a high defense for this
Yeah,
week?
I'm on. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing this week again. I don't see no reason to change the slap that I'm doing with that 400%, and I am no way ever, not once, not close, did I ever feel like my cob was even close to coming out of the protection and health. I never got protection gone.
Okay,
Now
that's good to know.
my sides, you watch my sides get beat up and then they just rehash and we're back. I pulled 57s, no problem. I never got to one alt. And that was with your high defense bulk setup and the new grit and support setup that you would do. Pick your setup. I was beating it down just fine.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, I mean, it's something to think about. Any other worthwhile offensive applications of COD that you guys were aware of? Or everybody was just, everybody who was holding it was probably just holding it for Java. And okay, no takers on that. I mean, as far as it being on defense, I gotta say, don't set it with the Cobb Cron. The mark, the force taunt on your constable allies falls off really quickly. Malgus Malik can duo that. I've seen it work a bunch. Maybe you could say, all right, Tacitus, I'm okay with that. Let them Malgus Malik it because I'm also going to set like Stormtrooper Luke, which you can also
Right.
Malgus Malik. There's only so many things that you can Malgus. So fine if
I
that's
will
your angle.
say
Mhm.
I faced the setup with the Cobb Cron, and I'll tell you one that I was surprised at because of the mark and they have to kill Gungans. So Gungans were a go-to in fives. I actually got my Gungans beat up on because I couldn't get past all of the marks. And since you have to kill him before anybody else dies, I couldn't get beyond that. So that was a
Interesting.
novel knowing. But now,
That
again, to
was
your point, Malgus Malik, yeah, that's a great. Just it's gonna pull it.
and TJ. That was against like a cup lobot, or what was the
Yeah.
combo?
No, it
Yeah.
was
Okay.
so Task called this out, and I think you need to pay attention. This was Cup Lobot, so the dual marks were going back and forth. And I actually took a relevant. I did the support cron just to make sure. But to what Tass said, if you're taking anybody outside of the two standard constable supports, they have to get constable for that to happen. Taking your standard two supports was really awesome if they're going to try something else like Gungans and not Malgus because I could not rip through them. I think I even had to back out and start over. And then I just took Darth Revan and I was like, I'll just take my 23 because I was trying different things to see. But it was cool to see that Gungans can't work that. I don't even think you can work that with the 400% because they're just, you can't kill them and I can't get to I can't get to Cobb.
Okay. Now, as far as on defense, aside from the Cobb level 9, I think that Sasha giving me that first experience against the Nebbit level 9 at the end of 5 vs 5, I found that to be a generally more intimidating, like 3 vs 3 version of that on defense. I don't know that I would Malgus Malik that. I think other people were recommending heavier things. I don't think I got to really fight that one. I just had to stop and think about what I would do. Maybe I'd rotate JML to that because I did do
I,
JML solo versus DRZ a couple times this week. I could have done something else.
I could already think of one that would take that out, and I would like to try it. STL should be able to just absolutely just stomp that team out. If you don't want to put STL on deep, because who cares about what's going on there? They're pushing you under your protection that Neb's going to lock it out for, and then controlling the trim meter as well. So I'd probably check to see what STL could do to something like that if that's where you want to place it. But then is STL expensive? I guess is the question.
Fair. And at the time of this recording, we still do not have data for week 1. The round ended just under 2 hours ago, something like that. So no data quite yet, but we'll find out here. Talk about it on future streams. Any other comments you guys wanted to offer on Cobb? Offensively, defensively, anything at all? Going once, going twice. Next item, Gungans. Okay, so seeing Gungans on defense, I guess it's kind of just point blank to say that anywhere that you were inclined to use Gungans on offense, I'm sure you were successful if you were doing like that 400% defense to offense Tarples thing, and you set up Tarples for it, man, I got to show you guys my Tarples. He got a tune up here for week 2. He's a bad lad, bunch of bad lads actually going into week 2. I'm sure the Erodiums I fight are quaking in their boots. But yeah, check this out. Check this out. This is the 3 protection primary Tarples, still at the right speed. Well, 12,458 offense, just over 100% crit chance, and just over 67.5% armor. It's still, offense defense, not full defense. I couldn't bring myself to commit to that. But yeah, that should be fun. And I'm sure that anybody who was doing this was having great results. I think a lot of folks were interested to see how this team performed on defense. I want to say that the one thing not to do is be greedy. Some people were setting Jar Jar Kron with Tarples on defense instead of Phalanx. Don't do that. If you're setting Tarples, set an attacker 400% defense to offense. Probably high crit damage. Either that or offense, I would say, because Nass also benefits from that to a very lesser extent. Jar Jar, I would imagine. But yeah, that's what I would probably do. Don't try and split the difference, because that was easily beaten.
I feel like it's really going to end up being, if you want to set Gungans, you're going to stick to the 400%. This is one of the ones where we talk about
don't
it.
say that, because I heard some people were dropping out on that Jar Jar level 9. I didn't personally actually encounter a version of that mattered, because I saw the one with Tarples, right? Like I had patrons and stuff that were fighting. I've seen them fight the one that had Tarples on the team, but not an attacker Kron. They had the Jar Jar Kron. I didn't fight a proper one with Phalanx in there, and I heard people were having a bad time with some more regular stuff, like
with Treya,
JML,
which is the known counter.
like JML. So I don't know if BKM failed, but
so here's my thing, and anybody proper, I guess, at the top, you just save your Treya for that. Now the Treya against the 400%, I would want to see what that looks like. But that Phalanx setup, we have Sith Krons. So when you're telling me that it's failing, I would want to see with what, because I came against Tarples with the 9, and this is against the Guildmate. And that one was a setup. Oh, come on. I told you it is
the
such
siren boys.
That's what I'm telling you. It's like
just dropped right now. Mara Jade Skywalker light side coming.
What did I tell you? It's such low hanging fruit. It doesn't make any sense.
Fantastic. I love it. Let's do an impromptu quick read over here.
So excited because this is going to be the Star Killer again.
She's New Republic, okay, and Jedi. That's cool. Yep, she broke free. Blah 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 blah. She's a high damage attacker. Fights smarter as the battle progresses. Counterattacks when hit.
So
applies
excited.
Debuffs to stagger enemies. Sets up
Tell
mass assists.
Tell me she's a Jedi Knight Luke.
And because they're displacing JKL out of JML. Now she is specifically wired to go with JKL.
She's JKL lifter, man. That's going to be so much fun
with
to
his
see how this works.
Ability, this is going to be
my
crack.
God, I'm excited. Yes, and you were, and for everybody else listening to the recording, Tass has been a JKL truther on 3s. For years, and I have always loved it. But Tass literally built teams towards this in a special team modding, just to level set. So seeing it's Mara Jade for a JKL lifter, I am above. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am, because we needed this. And if that builds a team where I'm stopping your turn meter now because I'm going to set something up, I am heaven. Okay. Anyway, going back to keeping it GAC.
No. This is an impromptu brief kit read. So, I mean, the basic is nice. I don't know if you're looking at it, but it's...
I'm watching yours now, but I got to dig, man. I got to sit. I need Fatal level. Like, we need a Fatal stream now.
I mean, we can... I don't want to eat off Fatal's plate here. I'm sure when we wrap up this recording, he'll probably go live shortly thereafter to cover this in depth, but it's cool.
I will be all ears on this one. This what I'm like, JKL, getting a team that we get to play with now that locks your turn meter. The idea of what they did with this team setup has been something I've been excited for a long time. Bringing their turn meter back down to your level, and now you control the team. And if you play it correctly, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Monstrous.
We'll just point out. someone has pointed out she has no clause about all allies have to be Jedi, and ever since Darth Vader duels and the Blu-ray
Oh,
edition
that's right.
got revealed, I have been yapping about Jedi
You
Vader.
have. I
Okay.
forgot about that. Your call out, you were like the one doing all of this and saying you put these two
That would
together. I
be
forgot
really
about that.
cool. That would be
Oh,
amazing.
come on, man. That's why I tell people just hold on. Let them cook, man. Let's see what they're gonna do and then Fatal can bring up like the DVD. That's so cool. Excited. Sorry, super excited.
Special 2, The Last Command. Bam. Might.
Look at that swing, dude. That is such a cool swing. Like the animations.
Oh man, this thing charges up. Turn meter.
Oh my god, dude.
Man, a master in the new Jedi Order. Dude, if they give me Jason and Jaina Solo, their friend Tenelka, like
What if it's the Skywalker family, dude? This is all I was talking about. Like,
if it ends up being like an impromptu Young Jedi Knights era, I will be over the moon. I love that series as a kid.
does the true damage bonus to stun enemies require Jedi Knight Luke to specifically apply the stun? No. Any stun from any source qualifies as long as Jedi Knight Luke is in the leader slot. Mara J deals true damage. So that even goes back to what you were saying again. It's just a lot. Looks like a lot of it is just don't put a GL in there.
The time has come. It's I've had my JKL at about 220, 230 speed and 14 point something K offense. It's time to make him wood. We're going down to 0 speed, baby.
And they're
We're gonna
calling us
do it.
specifically to put at the end synergies. Mace Windu paired with resilient defense is in the recommended squad. So they're even giving you something, just a little tidbit to add into this.
I mean, I like it.
Oh man, Jedi Will's buff, shared instant defeat immunity effects. Oh my god, I'm stoked. Okay, do we want to stay here or do we want to go back?
I'm about to move off the page. It's any other comments you guys wanted to mention about it since it just came out?
Go watch Fatal stream.
Yeah, you are gonna do one here, I'm sure.
This is
evening,
this is the plug, dude. Go watch Fatal.
Yeah,
Everybody
this is
should do it.
the
But when
best
it comes
plug
to
I can
these,
offer you.
Fatal,
Yeah,
go
I will
watch
be
your
watching.
Fatal. I knew it.
All right,
I'm excited.
Good. All right, see you then.
Okay.
So back on topic. We were talking about Gungans. We were talking about how
Thank you.
Commit to the 400% defense to offense if you're setting Tarpals with the Gungans on defense. Otherwise, this Jar Jar with Phalanx. I need to hear more about this one, guys. What do you guys?
I need to understand the fail point because what it's doing, it's a lot of gobbledygook, in my opinion. When you don't need a specialized cron. You have Sith crons. All I did when I saw this, even if I don't care if Phalanx is there. It's a lot of gunk typed in. We've talked about it here. This is a lot of words you're trying to give me to do all this. Treya don't care. So I don't know what Phalanx is doing with this specialized setup, regardless how high you put the damage. Your Treya, properly set up, should be able to handle this with a valid Sith Cron. So I would like to see these fails because I would like to understand how, when you have a batch of Crons that say, I got damage immunity for 2 turns or 100% bonus turn, and I can keep doing this, and there's health and other things on the Cron to prevent you from just getting outright pooped on.
All right, fair enough. I want to say JML has been like getting stomped out by the Jar Jar Cron. Otherwise, I don't.
I can see that.
Know much.
I can understand that it's 3 versus 3, and they're pushing your cooldowns, right? If you're looking at the level 9 from the Jar Jar, there is cooldown setup that can manipulate what you're doing. Again, that's why I said Treya. I just went with the low hanging fruit that if you save your Treya for this, minus the 400%, that one I'm interested to see because I honestly believe that might be too much for even Master Savage. I'll call him that way, to be able to take that damage and that maybe she gets one shot because Torpal's looked at him.
Fair. All right. Any other comments you guys had on Gungans? Observations from this week? Going once, going twice. All right. What I'd like to pivot over to is Lord Vader real quick. is he solved on defense? And then Fatal, I know you had a team composition that you were thinking about, intrigued by. So, TJ, I think you originally were commenting on your thoughts on Lord
Yeah,
Vader being solved. You want to kick off on that?
I do. And the only reason I say this is you really don't have a place you're using Moz. I made a comment, and actually Tom Ford, so everybody knows him. Anybody listening to the show knows him. Made a good comment about it. I called out during one of the streams I was with, and they were talking about, well, you want support grit on like Moz, and let's say it's you don't have Ugnaught, but you do Moz, Hondo, and Kicks, and you do grit. And he called out correctly, like, why? It's in Mary Jade's kit, or Mary Jade. Maz's kit that cops out that basically does its own grit. So you don't need that. You don't even need Hondo. You're just applying an attacker crown with Smee and Kicks. And this is valid because I proved it and did it, and other people were calling this out. You're going to place the 10%. Maz has a place right now and an attacker cron. And so, with that regard, the LV, like we talked about, was probably going to get solved after this week. You don't need to do Ugnaught, but I did see Ugnaught killing the 10%. You can just use your Maz here, and then that still actually gets you good banner setup. And I
Yeah.
saw somebody do the 10% attacker cron. I personally took an attacker cron with Kicks
You
as
mean
your second to back it up.
stacking offense?
It's the attacker cron with the 10% stacking offense, but I didn't take that. I took, just to see if I could play with the waters, 400%. I was still fine. I believe I've also heard the 100% when your health and all that is still fine because there's offensive stats. And I haven't personally seen it regarding the level of player you're doing. This is me within a top 100 facing an L10, an R10 setup with LV, where Maz with this option isn't still able to take it out. So that's why I said, is it solved? Because Ugnaught was killing him. That was Sith bonus turn, and that was the other option. And then on the 10%, Maz is killing it because she just don't care. So it feels more like we have to start playing with now the player you're going to be. But Maz killing something and for good banners on what is an LV feels pretty crazy. Yoda Darkside is the next one. Yoda Darkside is the next character. Just confirmed.
What do you mean just confirmed? I see people. Where is
He
it
just put it
confirmed?
out. They just put it out for
Oh,
Swiggle
okay.
events.
Okay,
Yoda
I'll be looking
Darkside.
for it. I'll look for it. I'll bring it up if it pops up while
Art
we're talking, for sure.
art not present, but if you go pull up Swiggle events, yeah. So it
It'll
is
come up
Yoda
in the Data Mine
Darkside.
news if it's real in a second, I'm sure.
Darkside, Healer, and Sith
Well, we'll
is
talk
Yoda
about it when it
Darkside.
pops up. When it
Okay.
pops up, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
But okay, so about Lord Vader, I've seen BKM 400% defense to offense, high prod on the
Yep.
stat. I've seen that
Yep.
make mincemeat of Lord Vader. I've seen Maz Kicks SM33 get high banners. Maz Kicks Maz SM33 Quiggled get high banners. I've seen Maz Kicks Quiggled, no SM33, no attacker to speak of, get it done for like a 53. You lose the kicks, but you still get it done. So I am inclined to agree. Like Lord Vader being able to 57 something powerful, or you just solo with Lord Vader against the likes of
Yeah.
DVD and get another 59.
Yep.
I'm not terribly impressed with your standard Lord Vader team on defense with any type of Datacron, at least not based off this first week. Now, enter Fatal with his curiosity regarding Lord Vader Maul Malachim. What do you have to say here?
So my theory is actually pretty straightforward, which is LV clones, broadly in my opinion, but also in 3v3, wants to play slow, right? The majority of the
Mhm.
power budget that they create is we're gonna double Lord Vader's health pool, and we're gonna make him the only really killable character for non-GLs, and you must pass. And Ampeg does not give a fuck about going long. Ampeg is just, I want to punch you in the face really hard. And so, yeah, my theory is very straightforward. if you want to play aggressive Vader, you need to play aggressive Vader. And so I just defaulted back to LV Maul Malicos with the attacker Ambag Kron. And like, I think it got holds in 2 out of 3 rounds, I want to say. Don't have history still. But
Oh
I
my
know at
God.
least in the 3rd round, someone told me that it held to, I want to say they said Maz. And like, if you just think through the mechanics at minimum, like the Ampag is going to shred the Bo-Katan team even if they run like IG-12 plus Beskar Mando. Your worst case scenario is you create a 1 in 3 chance that your Maul Malicos will just blast BKM. There's no revives. Thank you for the -20. So
I see it.
I think it's a good call.
That's an insightful choice for what we expect to be used against Lord Vader. People aren't budgeting, like the likes of Leia against it or something
Yeah.
like that. So fair.
Yeah.
there is one potential thorn in the lion's paw that I will not speak into existence because it might shorten the lifespan of the team. It's not 100% guaranteed to be a problem, but I will wait to see how things resolve naturally instead of speaking it into existence. Yeah, we'll just see how things go.
Very good. All right. Again, since they're putting out multiple kits here today, I might just briefly just scroll down the screen here, but I'm not.
I want to
not gonna read.
comment. So the only thing I want to call out, if the ally in the leader slot is Sith Gungan.
Oh my God! It is Jar Jar. All right, Jar Jar leader. It's a new. Listen, it's a new Sith team. We're gonna have all these light side characters that you've never thought about as Sith.
I just wanted to call out if the leader is Sith Gungan.
It's Darth Luke, right? Darth Luke, Darth Leia next. It's got to be. It's an all Sith team.
The Dark Yoda
Darth
has
Chirpa?
been another one.
I don't know.
So it's
Wow.
just like everybody's wanted a Dark Yoda.
Look
That's
at
like
that.
the same thing
Siphon.
as
I'm
Dark
just
Yoda.
literally scrolling
Yep.
down the screen. Siphon
Yep.
defense.
Yep. If the
Dark
ally in the
Masters
leader slot,
training. Other
yep.
target, other Sith
And
ally gains Dark Masters training. My man, look at that.
Yep. It's just the funny thing. If the ally is a Sith Gungan, all Sith allies have 100% health still and 50% max health. Whenever enemies gain bonus turn meter, Yoda gains 200% speed until the start of his next turn. So his flat base is going to push. Yep.
Ooh, oh my God. This is
Yep.
This is all right. I am probably the most enthusiastic about the realization of some of these really cool what ifs than I like this era probably more on paper, not knowing what all
Right.
else is coming, than I have any of them so far. Like I liked Spider Maul because Spider Maul was a great character to add. I thought it was a solid add. That's probably my second favorite era, but it's not even about Darth Jar Jar for me. It is kind of ridiculous, but when you adapt to the idea that okay, fine, it's off the beaten path, it is deliberately not canon, lighten the fuck up and have some fun with it. This is going to
That's
be
it.
awesome.
So I'm telling you, this is like Star Killer level stuff of like, this is an awesome idea. We get to now play with the idea. So what Sasha said is like, we get to have fun with the dynamic of doing this.
This is wild. All right. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to your stream here, Fatal. All right, let's move on. We have a few other items that are specifically from Fatal's matchups that he wanted to cover this week. So let's hit your notes on these. First, Cassian Undercover versus Jabba. I saw this one. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was just a labor of love finally reaching its completion where I finally cracked a non-FDC Cassian matchup in the wild. Much trickier to do in 3v3 than in 5v5. Was able to take down a Jabba, and now it's very much just in the refining phase. But it plays a very specific way. I said from the start that Cassian is a very crunchy mechanical team, and it was on full display here where you have to play the match a very specific way to set up your win condition, and then you play the polar opposite the moment you achieve it. Where, Cassian has a clause where when the VIP gets hit, that resets his move that gives out VIP. And normally people think, well, I want to protect the VIP from getting hit, but in order to keep spamming healing immunity on Kersan, you have to do your best to make sure that your VIP is always getting hit. So you're actually dropping that on Vel pretty much nonstop, to the point that you're actually happy if Jabba gives Vel buff immunity, because then that also means, okay, I get to keep getting hit, because normally that Cassian move gives out damage immunity, which can actually stop you from getting those snipes, right? It's a lot of moving parts. It's also kind of colored by the fact that, my Cassian team is still built for being posted on defense, which means that mod-wise they were full committed to max survivability, which in this matchup, you are never at risk of dying. It is solely you against the clock, where you are immune to thermal detonators. You cannot be instantly defeated. I don't think I ever saw a character fall below like 80% protection. So it's very much just you against the clock. And so, yeah, moving into next week, I think it's definitely going to be about trying to get their mods better. And then also, I did try it in this third match. Normally, I was using the light side level 3, where it's like when you cast a special ability, you get 15% turn meter. And that felt really good in the matchup, just because it just let you stay slightly ahead. It let you build up. Because the way the matchup ends up tipping the scales is eventually you hit a turn where you get to make a second VIP before they can even remove the first one, and so then you really get rolling. And I tried it without the light side TM level 15, and it did not feel as good. I ended up timing out, so there's definitely going to be some solving to do on the mod side, because while I could just keep using that Datacron for the same reason I don't want to use the FTC, that shit's expiring in 2 weeks, so I don't want to lean on it.
Were you, now, not having the full Cassian mechanics committed to memory, were you fighting the 10% max health damage Attacker-Cron on the Java teams? And if so, that was no impediment.
You're immune to percent health damage.
Okay.
So it makes no real difference. The ult doesn't really make a difference as long as you're continuing to spam heal blocks successfully. I do not really recommend anybody try it right now. Again, you have to play it a hyper-specific way. Like, you really just need to understand the team mechanics. You need to, like, never use Velblind, because, again, you want to get hit. Yeah, it's very much just a labor of love on my part, and if you're curious about it, come watch me do it, but probably don't try it at home yet.
No,
But
great.
we'll see how things progress.
Yeah. I mean, it's from, your conversation here on the stream that a lot of people were looking forward to trying ISB versus Ray here in 3s, and then of course when we go back to 5s, at which point I don't think we'll have the FTC for them. So
Correct.
we'll see how that goes when we get there. But anyway, ISB versus Ray, I know you were wanting to try here in 3 versus 3 as well. What say you about that this week?
Yeah, it feels fine with the Partagazcron still. I lost once because, again, did not get to remod at all last week. Last week. And so I lost against a Luminaracron because my KX got one shot by a Whirlwind. Go to look at my KX, he has 4 protection primaries and 3 defense sets, which meant that my KX was functionally unmodded against a Ray Luminara Whirlwind. So, yeah, not really a concern. I don't think that will be happening again for the rest of the season. I'll just have to fix that. But felt fine the other 2 matches. Because the ISB lost, I can also confirm that Balin has been beating Ray in the past when he had help from Datacrons, but I was always more concerned with how it worked when you didn't have that help. And Balin definitely was able to get that job done as well. So seems to be a viable option in that slot as well. Requires very specific modding to be able to, it's basically just you slam as much health as possible, because you want, you get the bonus protection whenever they get inspired. And so you want to stack up your bulk as much as possible to both be able to eat Whirlwinds and to be able to eat Rails. Ben, you want to be sure to control well. It is technical. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight, but it is seemingly viable in 3v3, so that's cool.
Nice. You have a Datacron recommendation if folks at home wanted to attempt Balin versus Ray?
All three characters are on 3 health set, 4 health primary with good percent health secondaries, and percent protection would be welcome as well on secondaries if you have it, just to really juice that shit up. And then the Datacron as well is just either slap on good health, like the Darth Revan would be a fine example, or if you have any good like mix of like mostly health but maybe some crit damage, might not be bad. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's all largely just a bulk check. I mean, if you can go fast as well to help control Ben Solo, that's useful as well.
Hmm.
I would say ISB with Partagaz this season is a lot safer or less risky than Balin. Once
Sure.
Partagaz goes, we'll see.
Sure. Good science, though. Appreciate it. Next item from you was actually Jedi Master Base versus Django. What if? So, you'd be running it with Temple Guard. You get to lock somebody down. What if implying you didn't really try it week 1, but you're thinking about it week 2?
Yeah, broadly it was just a curiosity because people were posting stuff like Django, Asajj, OG Mando, or whatever,
Yeah.
and
I saw
yeah,
that
I don't know.
once. I think I was more often seeing Forlom instead of Mando.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Mando seems like not the pinnacle.
Well, in either case, uh,
Yeah.
I mean, Django gets 50% health on unique.
Somebody has
Asajj
to
gets
be the
like double
weak.
bulk.
Somebody's getting it.
Usually I would imagine it's going to be whoever isn't Django or Asajj just because of their uniques
Okay.
giving extra bulk. So I don't know. I mean, like that Django turn is very aggressive. I don't know if it's like a slam dunk. Oh, this is so easy. Safe route, like maybe you would need to be on that GR 12% healing just to try to be safe from all of the amount of damage that one Django turn will do. But like, if you can get past that turn, I mean, that sounds like an incredibly easy investigation, and you're just playing a 3v2. I don't know. That doesn't sound bad to me. I bet that there's
I
probably
want to
some
see.
potential.
So I want to see the data, but just to comment on some of the things I saw and personally experienced, the amount of turns they were taking or damage, it's not in there yet. I actually took SLKR. I wasn't playing with the team because I was not playing with the turn meter to allow them. They almost killed my SLKR in one shot in one turn. And that was with a bulkier speed up on basic style because I wanted to make sure that you couldn't just outright kill my Dre. Um, I've seen other ones where the damage is so great that they're bringing down, and this is because everybody gets to work, but even with just the 2 of them, um, they were bringing Galactic Legends down to the yellow. So I'm not saying you're wrong, and I would like to see the data, Fatal, but when Forlom was there as the 3rd, it was significant the amount of damage that was being done versus just like, oh, I'm going to one-shot you once I make a move.
Holy shit, guys. Quick pause. Star
Oh my
Killer Luke
God.
concept. I don't even know what this
Oh
is.
my God.
Star Killer Luke Star Killer Luke concept and Commander Luke Skywalker are 2 interpretations of the same legendary hero. So it felt natural to create a connection between them through Star Killer. Yes, we're getting CLS back in the game, man.
It's fucking Gillet Merrick.
my
So it's
God.
like I'm
This is gonna
nailing
be
it.
so much fun. This is gonna be so much fun. I can't keep
It's
scrolling. I need the surprise for later.
it's just
This
and
is a
look,
great
they're
day.
doing it. And where's Dagger at? Dagger loved the Luke team. That was his bread and butter for so long, and he's not here to just live in the world of Luke is back.
This is
That's what
gonna
I'm saying,
be
man. This is the Star
this
Killer version. These are like this team was wasted, so we're bringing it back to relevance. Or we didn't get to use the JKL team, and now it's back, and we're doing this. And now you're getting a new Sith team. It's just it's too much. It's too much to take in.
Wow. This is gonna be fun. All right. All right, back on topic, guys. That actually wrapped up our specific items in meta analysis. Were there any other teams that jumped to mind that we didn't discuss that you wanted to make mention of before we move on?
We'll cover it in favorite attack and defense, I
No,
guess.
no,
But I
no.
just wanted to call
This is
out.
all. This is all one in the same these days. So
Okay.
go ahead, give us.
There
the variations on Cassian felt really strong. And what I mean by that is we're not just setting our three standards, blah, blah, blah. My favorite defense is the one that uh, I know what's his name got to clear it. Shadow got to clear it, but honestly, what carried me through 1 and 3 and they couldn't beat it was I did Saw lead with Cassian and Luthen with the Cassian Cron and just made it a bulk that way because the data didn't show it, nothing supported it. And man, it was 3 holds in round 1. Nobody died. They stopped playing the game. Arundel, who is a guildmate of mine, he faced it. 3 holds on that one. Stopped playing it. We were done because they just. And again, JMK, you play it correctly and you're doing it okay is an overkill situation. I know Fatal's talked about it with the kids, but if you're not paying attention, I am in no exception that I played it badly round 2, but learned from my mistake and 57 round 3 because the other popular one seemed to be Saw lead with Luthen and Clea with the Cassian Cron. So I just want to comment
Yes.
out that using that Cassian Cron with the right setup or playing with like, oh, I'm used to playing Cassian lead with the 2 in this or Cassian lead with Clea and Luthen. It was just doing so much dirt for me this week.
Okay. Appreciate that. I want to say Saw Luthen Clea versus Saw Luthen Cassian is an interesting discussion because I want to say the win rates for JMK, um, I don't know if it affects Bane, but I want to say that was a good one that I saw get results for people this week as well. So I wanted to make mention of that because you would think that Clea would probably be generally more impactful with Luthen, but I've seen
Yeah.
that team go down very easily to Bane. So if you're fighting, if you set this team in the Cassian team in the back, and you set something like Ahsoka Ezra up front, and you know that they're going to do C Bane for that, you probably got something cooking there regardless. But yeah,
Mine
anyway,
was top front. So I let you see what was happening from the beginning, but I'm not going to put the 2 teams. I just took our idea that this is going to be a more of a super team. And everybody's been facing Saw with Clea and Luthen. So we're just giving you a different fight with the casting on it. Plus, obviously, the damage pushback from the level 15. But yeah, if you weren't ready for it and it was a different piece to you or you killed the wrong person, they were 3 full backouts. And then basically they didn't have the answer because they used it elsewhere. So you could see it,
true.
you could know it, but if you in any way thought that, oh, I've just been doing this, that's gonna work, the data was supporting that the Saw, the Cassian, and the Luthen was really causing some grief from last season at the end.
Fair. All right. Good mention there, TJ. Any other meta items that you guys wanted to cover before we move on? Going once, going twice. Sold. Let's go back around to takeaways and final thoughts. Guys, we got an exciting Fatal stream coming up here soon. I'll let him plug for
So
that in a
excited.
minute, but it's going to be fun reading into these kits. Um, Specifically thinking about fighting week 2, I did move more of my attacker based datacrons over to the 100% damage when at full health and protection. I think I overestimated the value of the 10% offense stacking. In what I saw and in the people that I was helping with and the clients that I was coaching, where we had a glut of 10% offense, I was thinking that we could have been done with the fight sooner if we had the double damage because there were more teams than I initially was thinking about that were going to have their key attackers be able to stay at full health. Now, to TJ's point earlier, I was thinking that was probably a good idea for Cobb. He might say I'm being still conservative. Maybe I need to think more about more 400% defense to offense, but still feels a bit risky for me outside of certain teams. Nevertheless, I rolled away from some of those 10% offense stackings and more to the 100% damage at full health and protection. Uh, Fleshed out my support and tank cron selection, remodded and relicked up a few other characters. Check out the highlights channel on my Discord if you didn't see the work over the last day or so. It's been a lot of fun. but I'm just hoping I get real matches. It sounds like myself, Sasha, and Mad Mage Nira all went 3-0 in our respective brackets. So maybe we see one or all of each other this coming week. Here's hoping. Over to you, TJ. Your takeaways and final thoughts. What are you thinking heading into week 2?
So week 2, again, I've been big on the kit one, so I actually did a lot more refining to my kit DCs to make sure I had enough of the grits or I think you're okay with the 10%, but depending, this is that discussion of I have a really well defense built cob. So in this regard, I never once felt where I'm using them that it was in any way, shape, or form a concern. And that's okay if people haven't seen it. But then I also modded my cob that way, which we talked about. So one piece. Second piece. This week is a different setup than what we'll see next week because next week we go into new characters. Rada, all of this other. So we're Wild Westing week 3, which is always fun. Um, this one, we are 100% on. We've seen some of the data. We've seen what the kits are going to do. This is now playing the player and their tendencies high in until we get to what next week's going to bring. So I've got some ideas I took away from us and some things that Fatal talked about that I get to play with. I'm going to be making some adjustments, but I'm excited to try to throw more questions that you may not have answers for.
Fair. Very fair. Wow, this kit read is going to be so fun for this Luke guy. This is really well
We
thought
just got
through.
a new one. Stormtrooper,
Don't
Myth
say
Legend
it.
Stormtrooper concept.
I'll bring it up in a second. You bump. I'll cover it.
Oh, okay. I'll wait.
I'll interrupt us. I'll interrupt us. But yeah, let's move over. Let's move over to you, Sasha. How about you? Your takeaways and final thoughts as we head into week 2.
It's funny. It's really kind of dominated by the drips of announcements of new characters coming out, and I love the enthusiasm like everybody seems to have here, and I do too. I think some of these breathing fresh air in to old squads is fantastic. Week 2 is going to be my own personal week 1 to the extent there is a legit match in it. So I'm really starting anew, man. I just this has been a good learning experience for me, but like I really was not close enough to say I've got like much experience or like preconceived notions going into week 2. So which probably means I will be pretty messy on offense, and I'm totally fine with that. So I hope we get to match up because it's just a ton more fun that way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I am hopeful that both that you and Nira will both be in the same bracket with me this time, but who knows? We'll see. Fingers crossed.
All right. Last but never least, over to you, Fatal. So, your takeaways, final thoughts heading into week 2. Of course, you'll be streaming here right after this stream. And of course, for Grand Arena this week, where can the people catch you for all of the above?
Yeah, I do apologize that I was so disconnected from the game this week, and as a result, had basically nothing to contribute to the meta discussion outside of whatever random pursuits I did to have fun this week. It's not terribly much for me to do now, except for me to hurry up and wait. So I'll try to reconnect, and I'll probably even have to listen back to this podcast just so I can figure out what the heck I'm supposed to be doing with all the new background teams. Yeah, no, I'll absolutely definitely want to be getting Cassian fixed up, ISB fixed up. We are coming up on Rada as well, so that will need some prep. But yeah, man, I'll be going live very shortly for these kits. Ostensibly, I'm supposed to see some people that have a birthday at some point, so I'm probably not going to go through my GAC fights today. There wasn't really too much to go over anyway. It was a couple of entertaining fights and then a lot of just testing and learning experiences. So useful stuff, but not like, oh man, people got to see this entertainment. More so just the process, right? Learning how to Cassian and all that stuff. So twitch.tv/playbooktv, youtube.com/theplaybook for all of that stuff. Yeah, these kits are heading live, so I guess let's get ready to go through all that.
Wrap up and roll out. Yeah, this Stormtrooper concept looks like a cool tank. I guess it's inspired by early concept art from the early days of Star Wars. It's pretty cool. Like a riot shield and a lightsaber on a Stormtrooper. All right, let's get ready to run this. Yeah, this has been an interesting first week for observations on especially, these new Rollcrons in action. Hopefully you guys have some better ideas. As always, thanks to my co-hosts here for making the time for our show. And if you want to catch me live, if I actually have any real matchups this week, then you'll be wanting to stay tuned into my Discord where I'll make announcements if and when I do go live. My match or another guest match or whatever I'm doing. It'll be at twitch.tv/Tassinix. I also simulcast for my YouTube channel, Tassinix Gaming, where if you've not been there before, check it out. Whole bunch of Swugger related content that you might be interested in. Anything that you watch over there, please give it a like. Hit subscribe to the channel to see more. Follow me on Twitch. All fantastic ways to support the channel for absolutely free. And if you really love what I'm doing, there are a few ways to support the stream. I do have a Cash App that is $Tassinix. I have a PayPal that is tassinix@gmail.com. And if you're interested in getting some enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to my content, including plotting and scheming, and a few other benefits besides, you may be interested in becoming a patron. Check out patreon.com/Tassinix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. Shout out to all of my coaching clients for Grand Arena or for modding. They encourage me to make mention that I even offer this service because if not for this slide, people may not otherwise know. So if you're interested, reach out, inquire. Happy to help. Otherwise, you can join the Task House for as little as $5 a month at VIP access level, where you do get early access to plotting and scheming that's coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Patrons have it as early as Monday or Tuesday night, depending on when we sit down to record, giving you early insight into at least that first round of the week. I will occasionally make patron exclusive videos that you'll have at least a month ahead of the general public. And of course, a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where I am usually lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you so much to all of my patrons here at VIP Access. Moving on up to the $10 month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot is that tool that I highlight at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams. It's the one with the graphs that give you an easily understood sense of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build up a custom report with any number of weeks, reaching back between seasons. You get a downloadable HTML version of that with embedded links that, when you click them, take you right back into Swugger.gg or Insight with data pre sorted, just helping you further minimize and focus your scouting efforts. Alternatively, you might go for Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is your number one tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do with a powerful automation feature to comprehensively mod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, and so much more. No wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to all of my patrons subscribed here. At VIP Access Premium, that is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils all in one price. Going out and buying those two bots anywhere else costs the same as this triple bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in the game. Thank you to all of my patrons subscribed here at VIP Access Premium. I know you guys enjoy the double bots. At the top of the list for my most generous supporters in Jesters Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper, a madman who occasionally pops in the stream like he did just a couple days ago and goes crazy, setting records with hype trains. We hit a level 25 hype train just a couple days back, largely driven by Nomad's Reaper and Pills. And shout out to Pills right after here because, they both showed up at the same time, first time ever, and they basically had a dueling giveaway. As many gift subs and biddies as you might have ever seen going out all at once. hitting a level 25 hype train on this humble stream is quite an achievement. So thank you both to Nomad's Reaper and to Pills for your exceptional generosity, especially since both of you haven't played the game in years. Special thanks goes out to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons who's gone above and beyond the Call of Duty, not just for me, but for my entire patron community, for other Swugga content creators, helping us all out with our technical issues behind the scenes. And I also work with him on Datacron set guide recommendation, infographics, and videos. So thank you so much, as always, Womp Rat, for your time and attention. And of course, to my co hosts here on Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making yourselves available tonight, as you have done every week now for damn near 3 years, I want to say. Something like that. I have to actually sit down and do the math because rarely do we miss a recording. And I learned something from each one. So thank you guys for always showing up despite the pressures of work, family, raising kittens, what have you. Folks are letting us know every day that the show is having the intended effect. That we are achieving our goals with helping and teaching the Grand Arena interested community. I'm always getting DMs, comments on YouTube, thanking us for our discussions. People are picking up items from our show that they're able to apply in their own rounds, helping them win the day. So, again, guys, really appreciate you being a part of the show all this time. Would not change a thing. All right, we've made it back over. I'm gonna shut things down here and get ready to join Fatal's live stream to see what's up with all these new era kits. It looks really interesting and fun. I'm really warming to the idea of what this new era is going to be all about. See you next week as we recap week 2. And until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.